Okay, so it's a beautiful afternoon here in Garden Bay. Sex woman. Just finding your spot, just gradually making your way to the floor or to your bed, wherever you are working. And tonight we are working with the hips again towards the lower back. And if you like, start with bending your knees, feet wide, angle your knees in. Inhale into the belly. Exhale, draw the belly in, making a ha sound. Inhale into the belly, expanding. Exhale that ha sound. And keep this going if you like, adding a humming sound to this. And all of this can help with just regulating our emotional system, which is very linked to the second chakra area. Inhale. Inhale. When you're ready with your legs bent or straight, you're going to inhale, bring your arms up overhead to your place, tucking your chin in, and exhale, coming down. And just keeping this going, your legs can be straight or bent. Your arms can go any height that feels good for you. Going. Just going to make sure that you're all muted. Okay, looks good. Try to start lengthening that exhale from the pelvic floor to the belly button. And as you exhale, you can make that ha sound. You can make that B breath sound. You could even om if you like. Just focus on a long exhale, drawing in and up from the pelvic floor to the belly button. And just finishing up your last one. When you're ready, if your legs aren't bent, bending your knees, putting either a bolster between your legs or a block. I'm gonna use my bolster. You can also use a bed pillow, a nice big thick one. especially for those of you doing your practice on your bed. Hopefully you'll have one available. We did this last week. You're going to exhale, you're going to squeeze the bolster. And feel those inner thighs. And then inhale, release. And then on the release, you can release your knees a little bit. And then exhale, squeeze again. Just feel your inner thighs. And feel how that secondarily connects to your pelvic floor. This is working with the hips, the core, and even into the lower back. The stability of the whole pelvis. So by working on strengthening the inner thighs in this way, you actually wake up the pelvic floor, and this can create stability in the pelvis and the hips. This is also used for trauma work to just help let go of uncomfortable experiences that are in the nervous system. And just think of long exhale. Now, if it's comfortable, at the end of your next exhale, just lift your hips a little bit at the end of the exhale. So you're not lifting very high. Inhale, release the bolster and lift a little bit higher. Exhale, squeeze the bolster and come down. And again, you could use a block or a bed pillow. Inhale in the position. Releasing the block, bolster. Exhale, squeeze. Tuck the tail under and lift the hips slightly off the ground. Inhale, release the bolster slightly, lift the hips higher if that's comfortable for you. Exhale, squeeze the bolster and come down. So all of this is used for strengthening the inner thighs, but also for trauma work. Just keep that going. I'm just going to let someone into the class. If you can't remember, just inhale, lift up, exhale, come down, and then I'll cue you. And yeah, I can see all of you there, the bolster on the ground if you've got that. Perfect. Okay, great. Okay, and just letting go of that, wherever you got to. So we're going to release the bolster. And then we're going to work a slightly different way. So this is going to work the opposite way with the hands. So you didn't do this last time. You're going to take your belt or your scarf or your TheraBand, whatever you're using. Ideally something a bit firmer, but you could use a physio band if you wanted to. And you want to make your feet about as wide as the mat, pretty wide. Now, I know some of you have some SI joint stuff going on. You might find that this gives you some relief. I'll just see how you feel. So you're going to inhale. As you inhale this time, you're going to inhale, go straight up and press into the belt. Press into the belt. And exhale, come down. Now, if this is feeling too unstable, you could put a block between your legs and work that way. But if it's comfortable with no support in the inner thighs, inhale, lifting up, press out into the belt. And notice if you can feel one of the glutes. So there's three aspects of the gluteus muscles, one of them working more than the other. And exhale, come down. And notice also how it feels in the lower back. Inhale. For some people, this will feel really good. If it does not feel good for your back, for whatever reason, put that block between the legs and tie your legs together. So just keep this going. I'm going to show the modification for an unstable pelvis. So I have some students, have been in car accidents or for whatever reason they have an unstable pelvis. This setup can work better for them. And you might still be able to actually press out into the belt. I'm doing that now and it does work. Doing that around 6 times. And then wherever you get to, I'm doing the wide version. You're going to stay up, tuck your shoulders under if you can. And if you can, you're going to go up onto the toes and lift even higher and press out into the belt as you inhale. And exhale, come down a little bit, about halfway down or all the way down if you prefer. Inhale, up in the toes, press out into the belt, lift higher. And exhale, come down. Just keep this going. Inhale, lifting up, press out, lift higher. Try to keep your weight going down towards your feet, not going too much to the shoulders. Exhale, release. So sometimes I just have to tuck my shoulders under to get that. Inhale, lift up on the toes, lift the pelvis, press out, and feel those glute meats working. And exhale, release one more time. Inhale out. You might feel this into your knees because there's a connection between the glutes and the knees. And exhale, release. You also might feel that in your lower back. So notice how you felt that pose to Vipadipedum, that variation. That can be very helpful for SI joint issues. So let's just work one leg at a time. So exhale, bring your left knee in with your right leg on the ground, straight or bent, your choice. Inhale, release the leg, and exhale, other side. So I'm just showing first with bent knees. Ekapada Apanasana. Inhale, exhale. You can do it without using hands at all, using all your core strength to move that leg. I'm going to show it now with straight legs. This straight legs, you're stretching the opposite psoas. Inhale, you can add on arms going overhead on the inhale from Tadaka Mudra to Ekapada Apanasana. Once you have whatever move you're doing in place, think about the breath. Start to exhale, then start to move. Pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. Feel like you're dragging the leg, drawing it in, using the breath to move. Right at the end, you can add your hands to stretch the lower back. You can flex your toes to your nose at the end of the inhale if you like. Exhale, release the feet. This pose is great for the hips and the lower back. Adding on a leg stretch. Exhale, bring your left leg in, knee into your chest. Inhale, extend the leg up, holding underneath the thigh. Exhale, bring the knee in. You could keep holding the thigh if you like. Inhale, extend. And other side. Exhale, drawing the knee in. You can hold on top or underneath the knee. Inhale, extending up. Exhale, drawing in. Inhale, Tadaka Mudra. So we're actually combining 3 poses. Exhale, Ekapada Apanasana. And inhale, this is a kind of Ekapadan Gustasana Supta version. Those of you know the Sanskrit words. Exhale, drawing it in. Got a couple of teachers in the room, actually 3 teachers in this class. Inhale, extending. 4 of you, actually. There's a lot of teachers in this class. Exhale. Inhale, extending up. Exhale, drawing in. It's working the legs and feet and the hips. All right, release. Let's go into those hips a little bit more in terms of internal and external rotation. So bringing the legs to the side, palms facing up, and just making room for your arms, whatever height works for you. So be close to your feet or shoulder height. Inhale, center. Exhale, bring your left knee in towards the center. Inhale, the leg comes up. Exhale, the right knee comes down, the left knee stays up. And try to stretch the knee towards the big toe. Inhale, center. Exhale, bringing that left knee towards the right big toe. And if you are feeling this in a bunion, you could fold your mat over to make it more comfortable, or get a thicker mat or even a carpet to work on. So this is working on internal rotation of the hip. And when you feel complete, just going to start going side to side in the windshield wipers, variation of Jatara Paravriti. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Now, if you do have SI joint issues, just notice how this feels in your SI joints. For most people, this would feel good, but just be mindful if it doesn't. Sometimes rotations can be a problem for SI joints, unstable SI joints. Now you can keep this going side to side. It depends on how active you've been today. If you've been fairly active, you might be ready to stay in the position a little sooner. And just breathing here. If you've been very active again, you might be able to take it a bit deeper by crossing that left foot over the right thigh. Just be mindful of the hip and the knee, and of course the lower back. Just long exhales here. When you're ready, after 4 to 6 breaths, switching sides, inhaling through the center, exhale other side. Again, you could keep it moving side to side, or if it's comfortable, staying in the position. I'm crossing my right foot over the left thigh. That's an add-on. You can also add on arms. So I'm adding my left arm, stretching up to stretch my left side, which in my body's a bit short. So that means the same for you. You could try that. You can also try, as you inhale, to get more into that left psoas, tucking the tail under and scooping the hips towards the right as you inhale, exhale, release. And finishing up. Let's just do a counter pose. So I'm going to put my pillow underneath my back. You could use a soft block or no pillow. Just depends on your pelvis. I use this because I have quite a bit of lordosis in my back. It means a bit of a sway back, and this helps counter it. If you have a flatter back, your tail is tucked under as you walk your way through life, you would not want to use this modification. So if you've got more of a sway back, this might be better for you. So your left ankle crossing over your right knee, you're just going to inhale, open that hip. So moving into external rotation, open that hip, exhale, bring it across. This is internal rotation. And probably feeling a little bit that IT band, maybe into piriformis. Inhale, opening the hip. Try to ground the right hip down as you do this. So I have a tendency to go off. That pillow helps block that literally. Exhale, bringing the knee over the other side. And just keeping this going. You can keep this going if you like as your version of this pose, or if you like, you can go to the next level by bringing the right leg up, putting your left hand through that little window and opening the hip. If you have less rotation, you can try using your right hand on that left foot and your left hand on the left knee and opening the hip there. As you exhale, inhale, release. You can also put the right foot on the wall and ground the hips down. So I have to say, for me and my body, this is actually my preferred modification. So pick whatever one you want. This one involves getting to a wall. But if you're a bit tighter, you might actually find this really helps. And try to ground that right hip down because you'll want to twist. So as you inhale, you open the hip, exhale, release, and you can release it quite a bit over. And then you're going to switch sides. I'm going to stay at the wall for me. Do whatever you did on the first side. So, sorry, the first version is just, I'm going to go away from the wall because it won't work very well. The first version, you have the left foot down, you're exhaling, bringing the knee across, and inhale, opening the knee. So that's the easiest version of this. The pillow could be underneath the hips. Exhale, across. Inhale, open. Or you could go to the wall. And you could just stay in that opening if you're warm enough. And then release as necessary. And just finishing up. All right, so now we're going to do that counter. I neglected to do it before. We're going to do it now. So you're going to put that pillow under your back. If that works for you, you're going to cross your left knee over your right. And you're going to bring your knees towards your chest. So this is the counter for all the work we've just done with the hips. Inhale, knees away from you. Exhale, knees towards you. And with this counter, we're adding on another hip stretch, piriformis stretch for that left side. So I actually find this more effective than the figure 4 Apanasana. I like to really hold the shins. You can hold the feet. You can hold anywhere that you can on the leg. Knees crossed is best. Inhale, legs away. Exhale, legs towards you. And you could imagine you have a whale tail, which is what the kids in the studios call this whale tail pose. It's a variation of Apanasana, and it is wonderful for opening those SI joints. So if you have jammed SI joints, this might be your pose. This could be given to you by a physio, some version of this. It will help create mobility in the SI joints. If your SI joints are hypermobile, this might not be the best pose for you. You might want to just need a chest pose. When you're ready, switching sides, having done 4 to 6 on that side. Inhale here, exhale, knees towards you. Inhale, legs away, exhale towards you, holding on to the ankles if you can, perhaps the feet, perhaps bringing that whale tail up. And I've got that pillow underneath to give me a little bit more mobility. I'm feeling the right piriformis wrapping around the hip to the lower back. And just finishing up. Remove that pillow if you have it. Let's just do a counter for the legs and the lower back. So a counter of the counter. So that's a pretty intense one. So inhale, bringing your arms overhead to their place. So it might be here, it might be with bent elbows, it might be arms at the sides to your place. And exhale, bringing one leg up at a time. So the left leg up, your right knee could be bent. I'm going to show it with bent knees to begin. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, other side. Or if you can with straight legs, stretching the leg, use the core strength to move the leg up and down. Start to exhale, then start to move so that you're moving the leg with the core. So I don't know if you can see, but I'm having a little bit of shake. That means I'm using my core to move my leg rather than my leg to move my leg. It's quite a different experience. Pointing and flexing my toes, getting back into those legs and feet. Getting into the hamstrings. Okay, we're going to bend the right knee if it's not bent. And this time, what I want you to do, I want you to inhale, I want you to straighten the left leg down, the left arm overhead, and point the toes away from you as hard as you can, and try to create some traction in that left hip, creating some space in that iliac crest. Create some space there, right through the rib cage, right through that, the top of the hip crest. And then exhale, draw the leg up. And you can hold the leg if you like, or the big toe. Inhale. So I'm doing it with the right leg bent so that I can get more traction in the hip by stretching both ends. Fingertips away, toes away, exhale, drawing up. I know one of you had tight psoas and some tension in this part of the body. If you have one hip that's higher than the other, possibly rotated more forward than the other. All of this kind of work can help. This is also good for those of you who have scoliosis. I know at least one of you in the room does. Let's switch sides and just notice if there's a difference. So just start with your right leg up, your left leg bent, and that exhale movement. Inhale, pointing the toes away, the right hand overhead, and stretch both ends like someone's pulling your fingers, your toes. Create some space at the top of the hip crest. And then exhale, use your core strength to bring the leg up. Stretch both sides. Exhale, up and in. Doing it 4 to 6 times. And just finishing up. Finishing with the legs bent, feet wide, angle the knees in, rest. If this doesn't feel good in your back, you're certainly welcome to do regular Shavasana. Just take a rest, whichever position feels better for your back and hips. Okay, from here, we're going to roll around the world, so to speak. So we just did the front. Sometimes I'll just do one side and then go to the next, but I'm going to do left and right, not to confuse you. So now we're going to work on, rather than the front of the hip, we're going to work on the side of the hip. So rolling on to your, let's see, your right side. Do it this way. So we start with your left hip on top and start with your knees bent. And stretch that left hip that's on top, stretch it away from you. And again, similarly, try to get some traction as you inhale and stretch the toes away and see if you can get some stretch on the top of the hip. If you can, bring that left arm overhead, meet the other hand, and stretch as hard as you can. If that doesn't work, just put the hand in front of you. You could also have a pillow under you like this, if this is too much. So any of those variations, you could use a big pillow if you need to. Inhale here, exhale. Can you bring the leg up with the toes pointed towards the nose? And then inhale, extend out and away, stretch away like someone's pulling the toes, pulling the hands. Exhale. So this is strengthening the outside of the hip and stretching the top of the hip. And I have used this for people who have compression in their hip that causes hip pain, back pain. Sometimes I've had students be able to avoid surgery with osteoarthritis of the hips by doing this, because they'll have one side that's compressed due to aging, wear, tear. And this one again is really good for scoliosis, one side compressed more than the other. So all of those reasons, you might want to try this. And doing it around 6 times, fair amount of work. Okay, so we are going to go around the world on this one. We're going to go right onto the belly. We did this last week. You could put a pillow underneath your belly for more support for the lower back. You're going to fold your hands and put your forehead on your folded hands. You could use a block under your forehead instead.
just start, we didn't do this last week, but I want to add this step. Tuck the toes under and straighten the legs, and the knees pop off the ground. And this is actually wonderful for strengthening the muscles around the knees. It's also good for the glutes and the lower back. Exhale, release. So we're just going to start with that. Inhale, straighten. The knees come off the ground. Exhale, release. Keep this going. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, release. Now, when you finish that, release your legs down. You're going to inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, bring it down. And then your right leg up. Exhale, bring it down. Just that. Ardha Shalabhasana, one-sided locust. Strengthening the glutes, the back of the glutes, and the lower back. Now for those SI joints, some of you mentioned today, just bring those feet wider. Inhale, lift the legs up in that wide position. Exhale, release. Or some of you, inhale, lift the legs up. Exhale, bring them together. Inhale, open. Exhale, down. You could also add the upper back. Inhale, arms at the sides in airplane. Exhale, bring the legs together, saluting or arms together. Inhale, opening to the sides. Exhale, release. You can also, I'm just going to show without using the arms. Inhale, lift the legs and use the hands under the shoulders. Exhale, squeeze everything together. This keeps the focus more on the lower back and hips. Inhale, open. Exhale, release. So that's the one I'm going to use. It's called Vimasana, means airplane. In the Vedic culture, they actually had airplanes. The gods had airplanes to fly around in their mythologies. And just finishing up. And then we're going to go into the other hip. Now you can just roll right over with that right hip on top. I'm going to switch sides so you can see me, but you don't need to see me. You can just listen. Just have your right hip on top, and we're going to do the other hip. And lying on that lower left arm, or you can use a pillow. Bending the legs to start. In side child. So just find that as your starting position. And then when you're ready, straightening that top leg. And stretching away as much as possible as you inhale. And can you add the right arm to join the left? This pose is called Anantasana, sleeping Vishnu pose. Exhale, bringing the leg up, the hand to the thigh. And inhale, extend long and feel like someone's pulling your right toes away from you, your hands away on the other side. And exhale up.
Ananta means harmony. And we can think of harmony as meaning balance. So this pose helps balance the hips, perhaps aids in balancing the nervous system. So we can have that experience of ananta, balance, harmony. Doing this 4 to 6 times or till you feel complete, which is usually how I do my own practice. I just do it until my body says, you're finished. And when you are finished, you get that message, just coming into side child and resting. And coming onto your back again. So I'm going to add the bolster, use a pillow again. And this is a pose variation that I use for stretching the psoas. You could have a belt ready. I'm going to show that if you need it. And if it's comfortable, you're going to put your buttocks on that bolster or pillow. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, if you don't feel safe. Just listen to your body. I'm bringing my left leg up and I'm going to stretch my right leg. I could have a belt on my left toe mount. Ball of my foot. I'm not going to do that myself, but you could do that. You could hold behind the thigh. And if you like, I actually am going to use the belt. So you can do this without the belt, but I am going to use the belt to show you. You're going to exhale, bend your left knee towards the chest. Now feel how this is like a lunge, a standing lunge, feeling the psoas of the right side. And inhale, straighten the leg. Just that exhale, bend. Now that right leg might even come off a little bit. It could be bent a bit. Just see what helps you get the most into that psoas. And if you're on a bed, you could hang that right leg over the side of the bed and you'll get an even more intense stretch. Inhale, extend. So this is actually something I love doing in bed yoga practices when I travel. Just hanging that right leg over the side of the bed, or you can have it on the bed. And inhale. And when you're ready, switching sides. So hopefully that's getting into that psoas. Psoas, the hip flexors can cause all sorts of trouble for our lower back in particular. Also our knees, it can affect the tracking of the knees. So that right leg up, that left leg long, exhale, bend the right knee towards the chest. Notice the stretch in that left psoas. You could do this whole thing by just holding the back of the knee. And you know what? It's just different. I'm doing it now and it also feels good. It's just a little bit different. So choose one of those. In some ways, it's a bit more intense actually for the psoas for me. Just pick your medicine. Maybe I'll do it that way on this side just for show you the difference. For you, it's best to do whatever you did on one side, the same on the other. And again, that left leg could be hanging over your bed if you're on a bed, or coming slightly off the ground. You can bend the knee and it will feel different. It goes, you know, a little bit more towards the knee, the stretch. So if you walk a lot, these kinds of stretches can be really helpful, or run for that matter. And just finishing up. And we're in a great place now to bring our legs up to the sky, Viparita Karani. And this is one of my favorite variations of this pose. Just adjust that bolster or pillow so the top edge of it is at the crest of the hips or the waist. Should be very comfortable. If it's not, change your position. If it's comfortable for you, you can just stay here and breathe. Exhale, draw the belly in. Can you hold after exhale, pulling in and up from the pelvic floor? Inhale, release the belly. Exhale, draw the belly in. Hold after exhale, pulling up from the pelvic floor to the belly button. Hold after exhale. Inhale, release. Just do this in your own time. Your ankles can be over your hips, or you can do slightly with your ankles towards your face and just feel the difference in your body. See which one you prefer. Sometimes as I exhale, I bring my legs towards my face to stretch my lower back. So that's another variation. Or just stay in the position, Viparita Karani. You could stay here 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to stay just a few minutes. And if you like, inhale 4 to 6 seconds, exhale the same, hold after exhale 2 to 3 seconds. You can increase that. The ratio is 2, 0, 2, 1. It's a classical pranayama ratio. 2 inhale, no hold, 0, 2 exhale, and 1 second hold after exhale, and then you times it by whatever you decide to use, by 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And I didn't say this, but if this is too much, you could have the legs just up the wall or on a chair. If you're on a bed, you could put your legs up the headrest of the bed. Release that hold after exhale. And when you're ready, bring your knees towards your chest. There might be some tingling in your feet. Just let the blood flow. Readjust. So Viparita Karani means just changing your perspective. What was up is now down. complete inversion. Changing your view. Shake things up a bit. When you're ready, release. And we're going to put that bolster down. You're going to bring your feet together. And just rest here. Just notice the rise and fall of the breath. I'm doing it with my hips turned out in a kind of restorative Supine Konasana. If that doesn't work for you, you can just straighten your legs. And you can remove the pillow or bolster altogether if you prefer. Inhale, let, exhale, go. Inhale, Om. Exhale, Namo. When you have a thought, just notice it. Wake up to the present moment. And go back to the mantra, the mind tool, or just observe the rise and fall of the breath. And you can continue to rest there. I'm going to end with pranayama, seated pranayama for those of you who want to. Otherwise, you can do this lying down, or you can just continue to meditate. If you're sitting, just find your spot. Inhale Ujjayi Pranayama through the nostrils, through the throat. Exhale through the left nostril, I'm mirroring for you. Half closing that nostril, the hands you're using Mrigi Mudra or just creating a little beak with your hand. Inhale, both nostrils, constricting the throat. Ujjayi Pranayama. Exhale, other side. I'm switching side to side. Now through your right nostril, fully closed. Left nostril, half closed right. Keep this going your own timing. For example, inhale 3, exhale 6, or inhale 4, exhale 8, inhale 5, exhale 10, etc. Inhale both nostrils, exhale one nostril. Ujjayi Pranayama in the center. If you're lying down, you can just do that Ujjayi Pranayama, constricting the throat as you lie there. And just finishing up your last round. Normally we would do 6 to 12 rounds, left to right. This is called Anuloma Ujjayi Pranayama. And when you're ready, release. And just ending with Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving, whatever that means for you. In the Bhagavad Gita, one of the great texts on yoga, talks about the attitude of gratitude as a yajna, as an offering. So the attitude of gratitude is one of the greatest offerings we can give ourselves and each other. Whenever we can just get into that mindset. Thank you.